He's always right on time to work, and it's still dark. I bet it must be easy to find somewhere to park.
Yes, sir, you're on the air.
Say the AM radio, it's the Uncle Henry Show. You know you're up when you hear that Roll Tide roll.
Roll Tide roll.
You can talk bacon grease, you can talk geese, you can talk about the way things used to be. And if you get lucky, you might even talk to Freddie. Talk Congress, crime and cruise ship celibacy, entertainment districts. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
You leave my mama out of this.
It's crushing Ronald Reagan, and don't y'all forget to pray. A celebrity Bible verse to start your day.
Lord have mercy. Read your Bible.
Giant moon pies and ugly ties and ill-named football bowls. Be sure you end your call with Roll Tide roll. You can talk bacon grease, you can talk geese, you can talk about the way things ought to be. And if you get lucky, you might even talk to Freddie. Talk Congress, crime and cruise ship celibacy, entertainment districts. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
Mama out of this. It's horrible.
Let's talk about the Constitution.
I'm uncomfortable being called baby.
Just don't talk about prostitution or
Cut that out.
testosterone.
Don't send me things to click.
You can talk football, baseball, and eating meat, tea parties and bringing up children. You can talk city streets, deadbeats, and the way things probably ain't never gonna be. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
What's the matter with you people?
Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
Making songs about my mama. Leave my mama out of this now.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Can you talk with me today?
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Tell me what you got to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You're so informative and fun.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Yeah, you're the one.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You're the voice of reason.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Indescribable yet pleasing.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
What's the scoop today in your battle for truth, justice, and the American way? Home health and politics. Conspiracy theories or karate kicks. Intelligent discussions on the issues of the day. But tell them not to call unless they got something to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
What's the word for now?
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Can you tell me how?
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Will our team win? I guess it depends on what shape they're in. Home health or politics? Conspiracy theories or cement bricks? Intelligent discussions on the issues of the day. Tell them not to call unless they got something to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you're really cool.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You ain't nobody's fool.
Hello, Uncle
You live by the golden rule. When there's a fiery discussion, you supply the fuel.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you're really hip.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You don't take no lip.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you got that.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Still got a couple of accidents that we're dealing with. One north Davis Highway at Langley Avenue. Also I-65 northbound between State Road 59 and Rayburn Road. Taking a look at I-10 going eastbound from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. That's about a 23-minute drive ahead of you. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Eddie Francis.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm
I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and we sell custom blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices. Our blinds are handcrafted to fit your windows, and if they don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Blindster.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our iHeart Radio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword Vegas to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200. Use Radio 710. The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Friday evening, what a feeling. I feel like singing. Weekend, do what you want to do. Weekend, be what you want to be. Weekend.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. And I appreciate very much you listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Today you can hear me, of course, here on News Radio 710. Beautiful AM radio. God bless the AM radio listener. You can also listen on the iHeartRadio app. And today, streaming live on YouTube. So you can, if you want to watch me standing in here struggling to broadcast, you can go on YouTube and look up Uncle Henry Show on YouTube and find me there. Subscribe. Now we got a lot. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Now before I've got people waiting to talk on the phone, and I've got things to tell you about. But I asked Shelby Mitchell of 95 KSJ to talk to us briefly here at the beginning of the Uncle Henry Show on a Friday, because she just came back into the Mobile area after an out-of-town excursion to a faraway place called Austin, Texas. Now, I've never been to Austin, Texas. I've spent some time out in Dallas and in that area. I've never been to Austin, Texas. What was it like?
Well, actually, we were mostly in San Antonio.
Oh, but you visited both.
We visited both. That's correct. We were we were staying in San Antonio, but we did go to Austin for one day and see a friend.
Okay.
It was amazing. Austin is very funky.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, it's very like hip and young and hippies walking around, but then you might turn around and see like a cowboy. It's crazy. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. We went line dancing. A roach got on my arm, and I thought it was a scorpion, because that could happen.
No, wait. All right. All right. You've already said a lot of things I need to ask about.
Yes.
So you went, and you went to Austin from San Antonio. You went to Austin.
Uh-huh.
And you saw hippies.
Yes.
Now, how do you know they were hippies?
They were groovy. They were just, they looked super happy, and they had like boho. The ladies had boho style dresses, and their hair was like whatever, and they didn't care.
Did they look unemployed?
Some of them had cowboy boots on, so that was cool.
Okay. All right. So now you were line dancing, and a roach What happened when you were line dancing? Where were you line dancing?
It was a famous place, and now I can't think of the name of it because I got memory issues. I should have written it down. But we went to see our friend who took us line dancing. Our friend is Greg, and he is a young hipster himself.
Oh, okay.
Of the progressive era, Austin. It's very modern, yeah. So anyway, but we were having there were a lot of people in there, and we had just been talking about scorpions, and you might see them out in the desert. Now, in Austin, it's kind of a city, but I felt something crawling on me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a scorpion, but it was a roach. So I flicked it onto my husband, the fireman, and he squished it and saved the day.
So there's a dance place in Austin that's got roaches
But like
crawling
500
all
people,
over you.
Dude, 500 people were in there, and we were having beverages, and it was fantastic. There's also a thing, Uncle Henry, if you get very bored, y'all, type this in, read about it. 1.5 million bats live under the bridge in Austin. It's a big famous bridge, and I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, every night at sunset, they emerge from under the bridge to go find their dinner in the form of insects. They're not like vampires.
They're looking for roaches.
They're
going to go line dancing.
That's right.
What is a bat doing in
It
here?
is the coolest thing to see them at sunset fly up from underneath this bridge. It's cool.
Okay, so that's something fun. If you want to go to Austin, you can spend time with roaches and bats. And so now, is this before I ask you any more about this? Is this going to end up? Are you going to do a TripAdvisor review about a roach landing on you when you're line dancing? I think people need to know. Tourists need to know.
I would, but I can't think of the name of the bar.
Okay, all right. But you went. But you spent more time in San Antonio.
Yes.
Tell me, you went to the Alamo.
Yes, it was amazing, and I would have stayed longer, but we were on a little time schedule. It was the coolest thing, and now I know why people in Texas have so much pride. Texas was its own country for like 9 years before the U.S. between the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah.
So, but the whole now I understand the whole pride thing, but it was really. I had forgotten the history of like Davy Jones and
Davy Crockett.
Excuse me, Davy Crockett.
Davy
Jones was Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy Crockett.
He was in the Monkeys
Crockett with the hat. With the hat.
Yeah. Davy Crockett.
And then the other guy whose name looks like David Bowie, but it's Bowie. You pronounce it Bowie. He was one of the leaders, and a guy named Travis. Him.
Okay.
And so, anyway, they really, I learned so much, and then it left my brain. But it was really cool to understand, why they were, they fought so much, and it was a symbol of courage, and the Battle of the Alamo, and then they lost originally, but later on, who's the bad guy? Santa Anna, the bad guy. He was captured, and our good guy, he said, "Remember the Alamo. This was for the Alamo. This was revenge." Okay, and that's why he was captured, and that's why I remember the Alamo.
I heard it was a dump. Is it a dump?
No, it's not a dump.
Is the Alamo a
no,
dump?
Not at all. They are actually right now undergoing a major expansion, and they're building a museum. They're building an entire. When you go back in like a year, it's going to be huge.
Okay,
it's not a dump. It's not like Graceland.
All right. Before, which is a dump. Before, but I'm almost up on the break, and you're about to walk out of the room.
Okay.
Tell people how they can meet you tomorrow. Shelby will be available to meet you, the general public, tomorrow. Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at Tractor Supply Mobile, the re-grand opening on Schillinger Road North.
Okay. Schillinger Road, Tractor Supply. When are you going to be there tomorrow?
Noon to 2, and I will have Luke Bryan tickets for you to register for.
Okay.
And 95 KSJ T-shirts.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Okay.
While they last.
So if you want to pick up a 95 KSJ T-shirt, meet Shelby, get a selfie with her, and register for tickets, that's at Tractor Supply on Schillinger Road. I think that's not too far from Ziegler on Schillinger.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so Tractor Supply tomorrow,
Yeah.
noon to 2. Shelby, thank you for telling us about your trip to Texas.
Thank you. I wish I recalled more.
Well, you remembered the important stuff: roaches, bats,
line dancing,
and the names of Davy Jones fighting at the Alamo. There is more. We've got more Uncle Henry Show coming up after the break.
Langley Avenue. Another one, Old Halifax Highway between Hancock Lane and East Burgess Road. That one's at West Pinestead Road. I-65 going northbound in Baldwin. We have an accident between State Road 59 and Rayburn Road, and that is causing heavy traffic. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Eddie Francis.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Looking for affordable blinds, shades, or shutters for your home? Don't hire an expensive pro. Check out Blindster.com, where we offer custom-made window coverings at guaranteed low prices with a team of pros ready to help you every step of the way. Blindster.com.
Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union knows you might love your car, but not the bank or dealer loan that came with it. Uncle Henry here to tell you, Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union says...
Facebook viewers, or no Facebook viewers, YouTube viewers. If you're watching on YouTube, and I see that a small number of people are, we're in the commercial break. Going to be back on the radio with more Uncle Henry Show here in about 3 minutes. And I don't know if I'm able to see who is watching or not. Or if I'm able to see comments. Maybe I can on my phone. Let me see. This is new to me, so bear with me. Bear with me as I try to figure out how this all works. Just trying something different on a Friday. And obviously, no, well, maybe. Oh, there now I've found it. I see that KP was looking at it. Yes, KP was looking. JD. Michelle Dion Myers has found a way to look in. Someone named Metalhead. I don't know about that. All right, let me see. First, let me get... there we are. Oh, South Nutrition. Thank you for looking in on YouTube. I'm going to be... let's see. Still got a couple of minutes before going back on the radio. I do have a caller waiting to talk. I hope it's Bert. I asked Bert to call in to promote a big charity event that is coming up tomorrow at the Blues Tavern, raising money for Tarleton McNabb, a local musician with pancreatic cancer. So I hope Bert is calling in to promote that event. Bert told me in a Facebook message that he is going to be, his band is going to be performing. And they're going to be performing at 12:45, either 11:45 or 12:45 tomorrow. So I'm going to be trying to go. I want to go just to see Bert. I've had Bert sing for me before, but I've not seen him with musicians in a band setting. So looking forward to the possibility of seeing Bert performing and singing at the Blues Tavern tomorrow. They're going to be selling pork chop dinners and all kind of stuff, having auctions, all of that going on with the event tomorrow at Blues Tavern. All right, back on the radio in less than a minute.
105 and 110. We'll have a high in the mid-90s with scattered showers and thunderstorms mainly in the afternoon and evening. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeart Radio station.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and we sell custom blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices. Our blinds are handcrafted to fit your windows, and if they don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Blindster.com.
This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM, and also streaming video on YouTube. Look for the Uncle Henry YouTube channel, Uncle Henry Show YouTube channel on YouTube, if you would like to look at me standing in here struggling to broadcast. We have news headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Telephone number to reach the Uncle Henry Show is 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. I got things to tell you about, but I do have a caller waiting. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, thank you so much for holding during that segment. Bert, tell people about the big benefit for Tarleton McNabb tomorrow in Mobile.
I just got word last night. My band will be playing. The band's cranked up at 12 noon, and we're going to start at 1:45 tomorrow afternoon.
Very good. We'll be able to see Bert live on stage playing with his band at the Blues Tavern tomorrow at 12:45 in the afternoon. Bert, tell people what this benefit concert is for.
It's for a musician friend of ours named Tarleton McNabb, who's been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. There's no cover charge at the club, but they will be selling pork chop plates at $10 a piece.
Okay, so pork chop plates, $10 a piece there at the Blues Tavern tomorrow. I guess that starts at noon. And they're going to be having different musicians playing all through the day?
There's going to be about a dozen bands at the very least.
That's wonderful. Tell me, you've been friends with the McNabb family for a long time?
Almost 50 years, Uncle Henry.
Almost 50 years?
Yes, sir.
Well, Bert, give me a preview of what kind of music you'll be playing.
We do a lot of 60s, 70s, and 80s rock. Beatles, Journey, stuff like that. Bad Company.
Now, you're going to be playing keyboards?
Absolutely.
What about singing? You going to be lead singer on any of the songs?
At least half of them.
At least, Bert. I'm going to make a strong effort to be there to watch this. I'm really looking forward to it.
We'd love to see you, Uncle Henry.
All right, well, Bert, thank you for telling everybody about it. I hope they raise a ton of money for Tarleton McNabb.
I do, too. Thank you for taking my call, Uncle Henry.
All right, Bert, thank you very much for your phone call. Bert, you can tell Bert is mentally he is getting ready for tomorrow. So you heard what he had to say. Benefit going on throughout the afternoon there and into the evening at the Blues Tavern in Mobile. Bert's band hitting the stage at 12:45. Bert singing lead on half the songs. How can you not want to go see Bert? After all these years of calling the show, I couldn't stay away. So looking forward to it. Bert performing at the Blues Tavern tomorrow in that benefit concert. And I hope they raise a lot of money for Tarleton McNabb. I know the McNabb family, great people. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Hey, Henry, how you doing today?
Steve, how are things with you?
Oh, doing well. Yeah, I too am familiar with Tarleton. He's a very fine bass player. I think that my bands in the past have played on, shows that his bands were on too, and he was always very good, very, very solid bass player, as I can recall. I never did get a chance to jam with him at all, unfortunately, but I have heard him play a lot, and he's a really good musician. I'm very sad to hear that he's diagnosed with cancer. We all want to lift him up in prayer, and lift him up this Sunday at church to see if we can't pray all that out of him.
That is a wonderful thing to do. I hope a lot of people do that when they can. Now, what did you play in your bands? What have you played? What instrument do you play?
Oh, I'm a lead singer harmonica player.
Oh, lead singer harmonica.
Yeah. I mostly just sang in most of the bands I was in. I played all that heavy metal type stuff that you don't like.
Right.
But it didn't affect my soul in the way that it has a lot of people.
Well, I'm glad. Well, I can tell.
Yeah, I heard you railing on the Kiss yesterday and everything, and I have mixed opinions about Kiss. I think they were brilliant showmen, and I think their songs, but as far as going to see a live concert, if you ever went to see a live Kiss concert, you saw a spectacle. It was just a huge spectacle, but they knew how to market, they knew how to do all that. Gene Simmons he knows probably more about religion and the Bible than most lay people. He's not he's not an idiot. Even though he sticks and whirls his tongue around, the man is very, very intelligent. He was a school teacher before Kiss was formed, but I don't want to get into a bunch of Kiss stuff. They're not nearly my favorite band of that genre and era. They're way better examples. But still, I don't, are they worth giving a medal to? Any of these bands? They're just musicians, man. It's just playing music. It's just entertainment. Do we really need to honor these people like they're some great groundbreaking thing? I don't think so.
I'm glad that you're saying this, Steve. I'm glad that you're saying this.
I mean, I personally think that the arts in general are way too important in people's lives. They should be less important. More important things should be, agriculture, survival, making the world a better place, not just, let's sit around and jam and listen to some music and do nothing. No, let's make this world a better place. And if music helps do that, I think it's a good thing. But most of the time nowadays, all you see is music for the devil. I mean, literally, you see people dressing up like the devil dancing around, on national TV, in very, very Luciferian satanic garb and just basically saying, let's all worship the devil together.
That is true. You see it in all these major award shows. You tune in and it looks like Babylon. It looks like ancient Babylon would look.
Oh, worse than Babylon because we got the modern technology that Babylon hasn't. You could pipe this garbage to the ends of the earth in a half second.
That is true.
And we don't. That doesn't need to be. And I'm beginning to wonder. You see all that and everything, and you hear all these devout religious people saying, "Oh, America's the great Satan." You begin to wonder. Maybe they're right. I don't know. I certainly don't buy into their religion that says, hey, let's go cut people's heads off. But when I see that in my own country, it makes me ashamed. It really does make me ashamed.
Yes, indeed. Well, Steve, I'm glad that you've checked in, and I'm glad you've got some good well wishes for Tarleton McNabb.
Yeah, man. Get better, Tarleton, if you're listening, buddy. We love you.
All right, there he goes. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for calling. There is more show to come, but first we have traffic, some news headlines, and then more Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We still have that accident working North Old Halifax Highway at West Pinestead Road. And we do have a major stoppage, I-65 southbound between CR-47 and Rayburn Road. That is due to an accident with the right lane blocked right now, but traffic is stopped right now. Otherwise, around the area, we're looking at minimal delays on the major ways. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Eddie Francis.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Need better sleep? This Labor Day weekend, upgrade to premium sleep at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Let their sleep experts match you with the perfect bed and get the rest you deserve. They make sleep easy. Shop Mattress Firm's best sale of the year.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Jill Nato. As U.S. military jets flew overhead, President Trump shook hands with Russia's Vladimir Putin on the tarmac at an airport in Alaska. The two men meeting behind closed doors to talk peace for Ukraine. On his way to Anchorage, President Trump told Fox's Brett Baier,
I won't be happy if I walk away without some form of a ceasefire.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich is there.
The world is really watching this summit, and I heard from one senior European official this morning who said that they are definitely going to vouch for and also nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize if he's able to clinch a peace deal that is fair to Ukraine.
Meanwhile, President Zelensky said Russian airstrikes against Ukraine continue just ahead of this meeting. He also said everyone wants an honest end to the war. America's listening to Fox News.
The Alabama State Board of Education held its first meeting yesterday since the start of the new academic school year. Superintendent Eric Mackey outlining a number of goals, including maintaining Alabama's position as #1 in the nation for student school attendance. Still no word on what led to a murder-suicide of a family of 4 in South Alabama. Authorities in Baldwin County say 4 people, including a 15-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl, were found shot to death at a home in Daphne. This neighbor, Shannon Brannon, telling WALA it comes as a shock.
Just the nicest, sweetest family. Their kids were so sweet. They babysat my daughter. Just good people. She just told me they just celebrated their wedding anniversary 2 weeks ago and was happy about it. So I don't understand.
I'm Leah Brandon.
News Radio 710 welcomes Little Big Town to the Wharf Amphitheater August 23rd.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in on the YouTube. Going to be back on the radio in less than 3 minutes with more Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Someone is holding on the phone. No idea who they are. And at this point in my career, the idea of screening the calls ahead of time, why would I do that? Why would I do that? So here we are. What can I tell you about? If you are watching and like to do me a favor, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be nice. You don't really have to watch it. Just subscribe to it. Let's see. Is there anything I can tell you about while waiting to go back on the radio? I did see there were lots and lots of great weird news stories today in the weird news category. So let me get to one or two before going back. You may have already heard this one. There's a guy that was sent to prison recently, Brian Kohlberger, who got 4 life sentences after he was convicted for killing 4 students from the University of Idaho. This was a big story. You probably saw it on the news. There was never any explanation of why he'd committed this horrible crime. Well, now he's in jail. He's in prison. And sources are saying that he's become extremely annoyed because fellow inmates are constantly yelling at him through the vents in a relentless campaign of harassment. He's being harassed constantly by other inmates in prison. So that's maybe that's a happy story that should have got the death penalty, but instead of getting the death penalty, he's being harassed nonstop in prison. Also, Miami International Airport starting in November, introducing private nap rooms. The private nap rooms will cost between $30 and $60 an hour. They will feature beds, Wi-Fi, noise-canceling tech, and power outlets. So, how soon before that is going to be abused in the most awful ways possible? Rentable nap rooms at the Miami International Airport. All right, back on the radio here.
You'll be confident in smelling fresh all day long. Try now for as low as $5 and smell unstoppable.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. You can call the show at 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. If you'd like to watch video, live video of me just standing in here trying to broadcast, you can see that on YouTube. Look for the Uncle Henry Show YouTube channel to see video of an old man standing in front of a microphone. Let's see, I've already got a caller here holding on. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry. I was the one that called you yesterday talking to you about shame on anybody that would talk bad about your family or you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I was wanting to call back today. I tried to get you again yesterday. You had a story yesterday, I believe it was up in Birmingham, about the human organs.
Yeah. Now, for people that don't know about this story, Fox 10 has covered it a bunch. There were students, allegedly students at UAB, that noticed that they had a lot of extra organs laying around up there that were coming from autopsies done on inmates that had died in Alabama prisons. And now the UAB is being sued by the families because they never gave permission for the organs to be harvested from their loved ones. And one of the lawyers, I was laughing yesterday because one of the lawyers for UAB said that he made the argument in court that your organs aren't your personal possessions.
Yes, sir. I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
But my question is, the day before that, did you have another story in Birmingham about a dog that was bringing human remains home?
Yes.
I wonder if they're related.
Well... Well, maybe they need to take the dog up to UAB and see what the dog can... They might find more evidence if they take the dog up to UAB.
Yes, sir, that's a matter of fact. But anyway, you said yesterday that I was an anonymous call. I was just going to let you know, y'all can just call me the light catcher because it seems like I catch every red light I come through when I'm driving. So
okay.
I just wanted to call in and let you know, just kind of share that with you, see if I can get a chuckle out of you, and just tell you God bless you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Well, thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much for your phone call. Light catcher or red light catcher would be a good name for you as well. And if you missed that story, that other story out of Birmingham, they've got a dog up there that has found human remains, I think, for the third time this year. Where the first time, the dog found a skull on the side of the road, and then, I don't know, weeks or months later, the dog found a leg bone, and just, I think it was last week, the dog found yet another bone. This dog just keeps finding human remains up there. And they think, well, 2 of the 3 times it came from the same individual. And they're still waiting on test results on the 3rd remains that the dog found. But the dog just minding its own business, going through the neighborhood, finding human remains in Birmingham. Speaking of that, there was another story out of Birmingham a few weeks ago where a woman was found. She had lost her life attacked by a pack of dogs. I think it was in Bessemer. They just found this woman. She had lost her life. They found her in a vacant lot after being attacked by dogs. And the gist of the story was that they had 3 or 4 people have lost their life in Alabama after being attacked by dogs in the last year or so. Have you heard anything about this? I didn't realize that roaming packs of dogs were a hazard in Alabama to the point that we've gotten a number of people that have lost their lives to being attacked by dogs, packs of dogs in Alabama. Doesn't that sound kind of third world? Can we not do better than this? Than having roaming packs of dogs? All right. Again, the telephone number here, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, I got a couple of stories I want to tell you about. These both come from press releases I've received this week. One of them was a press release from Jerry Carl. You may remember him. He was a congressman. He represented Lower Alabama up in Congress up until Barry Moore took that seat after some redistricting. So the press release that I got was Jerry Carl to make major announcement at Foley City Hall Monday, August 18th. It says former Congressman Jerry Carl will hold a public event at Foley City Hall Monday, August 18th at 10 a.m. to make a major announcement. Now, what do you think the announcement will be? Well, I'll give you a hint. The email says at the bottom of the email, paid for by Jerry Carl for Congress. And it says our mailing address is Jerry Carl for Congress, Post Office Box, blah, 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 blah. So obviously Jerry Carl announcing that he's running for Congress again. So Jerry Carl making that announcement officially Monday morning, 10 o'clock in Foley at the Foley City Hall. And with Barry Moore running for the U.S. Senate, now Jerry Carl jumping in to run for Congress, I'd like to put this out there to anyone listening in that congressional district here in South Alabama. You know, Jerry Carl already is going to have a pretty good shot at that congressional seat because he's got the name recognition of having been in Congress before. I'm sure that he's going to have some donors lined up all ready to go before making the announcement. But just for general entertainment purposes, it'd be nice if a lunatic would run. Just for fun. Or maybe, let me rephrase that. Instead of just if there's someone out there that is an eccentric, fun-loving personality, please run. Please run for Congress. Just to liven things up. No offense to Jerry Carl, but he's not the most charismatic guy. He's fine. He's a nice guy, but he's not overflowing with charisma. It'd be fun if we could get some eccentric, fun-loving people to run for Congress, just to spice it up and give us some entertainment. That lady that was trying to run as a write-in candidate in Mobile for the mayor, her last name was Dias. I hope she runs. Lady, if you're listening, please run. Just to spice it up. And there's some other people in South Alabama that would be fun if we could get them to run just for entertainment purposes, like the guy that makes the bacon. The guy that makes the bacon in Fairhope, Bill E. of Bill E's Bacon. I wish he'd run, because then he could compare everything to making bacon, and he could talk about his He could talk about bacon while he's running for office. Wouldn't that be fun to hear a candidate talking about bacon all the time? He could run, Bill E. of Billy's Bacon. Or what about Panini Pete? Why not? He could talk about making sandwiches and stuff. Wouldn't that be fun if Jerry Carl were running against Bill E. and Panini Pete? Wouldn't it be fun? It'd make you hungry. Every time there'd be a forum, you get hungry. And what about, I know somebody that's good in the spotlight, Lucy Buffett. Why not Lucy Buffett from Lulu's? Have her jump in there. Wouldn't that be fun? I bet she'd get a lot of campaign donations just because she's Jimmy Buffett's sister. Just give it some thought. Any fun-loving, outgoing, eccentric people? Even somebody like Ron Reams. Wouldn't Ron Reams be great? Just running, because he could. Somebody'd ask him a question and he'd talk for 30 minutes answering it. It'd be fun. Anyway, just Something to think about. All right, there's more to come. More Uncle Henry Show after the break.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
We still have that accident working North Old Halifax Highway at West Pinestead Road. And we do have a major stoppage, I-65 southbound between CR 47 and Rayburn Road. That is due to an accident with the right lane blocked right now, but traffic is stopped right now. Otherwise, around the area, we're looking at minimal delays on the major ways. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Eddie Francis.
All right, I like Eddie Francis. All right, thank you for looking on YouTube. I see we have a small number of people looking in on YouTube. I think 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley might be watching. Also, Larry Morting, Pat Nelly, KP, Ben Griffin. I thought I saw Ben Griffin earlier. Isaac Banks. KP, yes. Herman Thomas. Why wouldn't Herman Thomas run for Congress? That would add some even more spice to it all. Would enjoy that very much. Yeah, by the way, KP, I was looking through my old emails today, and I found and started looking at all the pictures that you sent me from the trip to Cuba. What a wonderful time. There were some memories were reignited back from that wonderful trip to Cuba. Let's see. What can I tell you about? Going to be back on the radio in about 2 minutes. Before we go back onto radio, what kind of stories can I share with you? Let's see. I don't know the details on this one. Scientists at King's College London have created a new kind of toothpaste using keratin, the same protein found in hair, skin, and wool. And they say this special toothpaste using that protein found in hair can help repair tooth enamel when you brush with it. When applied to the teeth, the keratin catches minerals from saliva and forms a crystal-like layer that mimics real enamel. And over time, it will act as a scaffold that attracts more minerals to rebuild the protective surface of your teeth. So a keratin-based toothpaste. They say within 2 to 3 years, you'll be able to buy a toothpaste made from the same stuff as is in human hair. All right, let's see. What else? McDonald's in Japan had to abruptly end a new promotion because the new promotion was putting Pokemon trading cards in Happy Meals. And when they did it, it caused chaos. Crowds of collectors overwhelmed all of the McDonald's in Japan. And they would buy the Happy Meals and they would throw the food aside, creating piles of uneaten Happy Meal food at the entrances of the McDonald's in Japan. They say the commotion caused long lines, congestion. It upset the staff and the families that were there trying to actually eat the garbage food. So, Pokemon cards causing chaos in McDonald's in Japan.
The iHeartRadio app, now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. It's 5:50. News headlines coming up. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Now, let's see. I've got a couple of voicemails to get to real quick before this hour is over. Let's see. This one came in this afternoon, right before 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Roll Tide up. Sitting out here on the front porch under a heat advisory. Just pointed out to me by both the AccuWeather app and the Weather Channel app. One of them's telling me that it's 89, but it feels like 107. The other one's telling me it's 91, but it feels like it's 94. We know how that goes.
Exactly. Absolutely ridiculous.
Speaking of, I just wanted to check up on you. Make sure you're doing all right. You're surviving the heat real well. I assume you're in the fine air conditioning building there in Mobile.
Yes.
I'll leave you with this. A mere 15 days. Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide, roll. All right, thank you very much for your voicemail, 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley. The voicemail number is 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a voicemail for the Uncle Henry Show. Now, yesterday on the show, I talked about how it's disgraceful that President Trump is going to honor KISS with a Kennedy Center honors. It's absolutely disgraceful. And I got this voicemail.
Uncle Henry, instead of KISS, what if it had been AC/DC? Let's see what you got to say about that. I'm curious. Weigh in on it.
Well, you're curious. Well, that would be equally disgusting if AC/DC were to be given some type of presidential honor, some Kennedy Center honor, and you put medals around these people. AC/DC. What kind of songs did they have? Dirty Deeds. Isn't that one of their songs? Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. Where they're singing about doing dirty deeds. Why would we award somebody for that? Why would you put a medal around their neck for that? And I think they've got another song about where they sing about big blank, where it's like a body part, and they're singing about a big blank, if I remember correctly. And it's some song about she shook me all night long. And there's lyrics about how she keeps her motor clean or her engine clean or some type of innuendo about the human body that is strictly disgusting. So no, it would be almost as bad. KISS is worse because of the Satanism. But AC/DC would be just as bad. You know who's still alive that would be a good replacement for KISS at this Kennedy Center thing would be Pat Boone. Pat Boone, still alive. He's in his 90s. He posts on the X app. He does. He posts, in fact, I think it was last week or the week before, he posted video of him, Pat Boone, playing basketball. Yes, at age 93 or 90, whatever he is. So Pat Boone's still alive. Why not honor him instead of somebody like KISS? Or the idea that we're going to have foreign bands like AC/DC that have come over here and carpet-bagged into our music And the idea that we'd give them a medal, it's outrageous that Led Zeppelin got one of these things. It's absolutely disgusting. But anyway, that was yesterday's show. You can listen to that show as a podcast. Podcast available on the iHeartRadio app. Just go on the iHeartRadio app and look for Uncle Henry's Show. Listen to the podcast, set a preset for the podcast there. Now, let's see. Just about out of time for this hour of Uncle Henry's Show. Before I'm out of time, I want to mention one more time that there is a benefit concert for Tarleton McNabb. He is a local musician who has cancer. All the proceeds going directly to his medical expenses. This is going to be tomorrow at the Blues Tavern in Mobile, starting at noon, and they're going to be selling pork chop plates for $10 a piece. I'm going to go get me a pork chop plate. There's no cover charge for going in and watching the bands. Bert, longtime caller of the Uncle Henry Show, his band is going to be performing at 12:45 tomorrow at Blues Tavern. And a lot of other great bands are going to be there all throughout the day. I'm going to try and be there myself to see Bert's band. That is tomorrow at the Blues Tavern starting at noon. And they're also going to have an auction, raffles, and things like that. More Uncle Henry Show coming up after the news break.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Log.
YouTube viewers, thank you for watching on YouTube. I'm going to turn the camera off, but the show continues on WNTM. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant weekend.